Greetings YouTube, this is Canadian Neo-Frontiersmen and I welcome you to my channel. Today we're going to discuss a little bit of books and skills. A lot of people are focusing on the internet on guns, self-defense, stuff like that. I think so that just like Preparedness 101 itself, the 95.5 does apply, and I think so that guns and self-defense are in maybe, I would say, 5% of the subject when it comes to disaster preparedness. I think so personally. Skills doesn't wait. Skills always brings knowledge. Skills is always good to share. Skills makes you an asset, okay? In a team, for your family, or, just in normal life situations, okay? So today I'm going to discuss a little bit of books that I've read that somehow, in some situation itself, we can apply it to disaster preparedness. We can apply it to bug out situation, bug in situation, get on situation, disaster knowledge, cognitives, urban survival, as well as wilderness survival, and sporting also as well, for hunting and stuff like that. So let's start with it. I think so that you're gonna enjoy it. I'm gonna try to make it quick, make it short. All right, so thank you very much. Stay tuned. Okay, the first book that I'm gonna talk, and you're gonna laugh your ass off, it was the Y2K Home Preparation Guide, and this was written by Edward Jordan. And for that time, the thing is, I think so that Y2K was a complete scam. Okay, let's face it. We can laugh our ass off, but we never expected 2001 right after, and I think so that really started to, maybe the community lost a little bit of their credibility into Y2K, but right after, with 2001, with the hit of the towers, it completely changed, the mindset. And I think so that, with the years and everything, from being now in 2016, I think so that the evolution came very far from it. So the Y2K is, I still kept, that book. And first of all, it's paper, so whatsoever happens on technology, we can still rely on paper. The second thing is, it's got a lot of good information itself on, the number of time that we should prepare, how long we should prepare itself. So depending on government and stuff like that. And after that, there's all the tips about, water purification, water storage, food storage. They got, and after that's sanitation. So that's food storage right there. And they're disclosing, basically all the food that it was. But please do remember itself that was done in 2000, and a lot of food product for disaster preparedness have changed since so far. So people are much more aware, and there's more companies itself that are making product for disaster preparedness. So anyway, it's all the calculation are there. How much gallon for for a generator, how much heat you need, for a house, and so on and so on. So there's a lot of calculation. There's a lot of things that you can rely on. They're talking about, a lot of money storage and stuff like that. But, during that time itself, we're not as much as aware of, security and stuff like that. So that's a little lack into it. But, most of the information here, you can basically, take it, copy it, and you can transpose it to our new times now. And it's still a book that I want to keep on my shelf right now, to my personal beliefs. So anyway, right after, I had the book which is called Modern Survival from Barry Davey. Barry Davey was basically in the SAS, and he participated in the storming of the hijack of Lufthansa in Mogadishu in 1977. So this guy is really badass itself. He's been to many countries, He has seen a lot of things in his life, and this is much more a book about modern survival. So, and he's gonna give you, a lot of good aspects of, modern tourism, like we're knowing it right now. So with ISIL, with everything that's going on in the Middle East right now, they got also, issues about, how you should survive, because basically, for that book, they're talking about basically a total collapse of the urban environment. And they're giving you a lot of tips, a lot of security tips. Barry is much more focused on security than anything else into this book. So it's the know-how, what we should expect when a disaster strike. He did some interviews also with people who have been involved in Bosnia Herzegovina war. So Croatia war. So I think so that this is a nice book to have, because you do understand a little bit more the psychology that goes behind all the preparedness itself, and the effect of what's going on with people when the shit really hits the fan and we are in WROL, which is without rule of law. So I do recommend Barry Davies' Modern Survival book. A great book itself. So I'm going to provide the ISBN in the back of it, so you're going to see it inside my description. So you're going to be able, to order that book. And that was not a very expensive book, by the way. I think so that was less than 25 bucks. Okay. After that, there's another book that I really do appreciate, and is from a great guy. It's Dr. Archer T. Bradley. He's got a website. He's got a YouTube channel, by the way. Not very active for with his YouTube videos itself, but still. Disaster Preparedness Handbook. That's the second edition, and once again, it's like Y2K, but much more boosted. So you got a lot of information with that. So. And they're giving you all sorts of calculation for electrical. For once again, it's like I say, it's a Y2K but much more boosted. So basically, if we're just looking, it's how to stay alive, and after that the psychology behind it, and after that you got food, water, and shelter. After that you got light, electrical power, heating. They're discussing about air, sleep, medical first aid, communication, financial preparedness, transportation. And after that, he's talking about protection, special needs, and creating a disaster preparedness network. So this is really a book that it's gonna for the new age. This is definitively the book that is gonna cover it all. So I do recommend it. Very great book, and it's from Castle. It's from Castle, and it's a must to have. After that, if I'm looking much more about prepping books, but a lot of people are saying for books, don't have electronic copies. But I'm traveling a lot, so I'm not going to carry 10,000 books with me. So I just got few books that I got inside my iPad that I think so that totally worth it, to explain and everything. So there's the Bug Out Vehicle and Shelter itself. That book from Scott Williams. I would say that guy, that's pretty basic, what we got, for subjects and stuff like that. That book, I was not impressed at all. It's sorry, but Scott, I have to admit that that book, if I'm looking at everything that is on YouTube right now, this is just a copycat of everything that's on YouTube right now. So, but he's discussing about, the good vehicle, what's a good vehicle, what he's not only discussing about vehicles, but as car, but he's talking about SUVs, he's talking about campers, boats. He's bringing everything, into these aspects itself. So, and he's talking also, about, the retreats and a little bit of bugging out, but not quite fully into it. He's talking about bicycles. He's talking about bikes. He's talking about human-powered different things. So planes even. So anyway, I think so that guy is still, he digged into the subject, but really, I don't. I think so that personally that was kind of a waste of money. Build your perfect bug out bag itself. So, Creek Stewart, well known guy, for the Apoca box. I think so that Creek did a good job into his book. Okay, it didn't meet my expectation on information containing the book. If you're if you're getting on YouTube itself and you're going a little bit everywhere, you're gonna gather information here and there about bug out bags, and people are really digging into bug out bags these days. So there's a lot of great bug out bags. There's there's no perfect bug out bags because a bug out bag always suits your needs. But I think so that my personal thoughts with Craig Stewart, he did an excellent job. For newbies itself, you want to find out how to build the perfect bug out bag. This is the book to buy. Okay. And I do recommend you to buy also Build the Perfect Bug Out Vehicle. If Craig Stewart did an excellent job, with the first book, and the second book is as good as the first book, I think so that this is definitively another winner. But the thing is, I think so that Craig is putting the emphasis on bugging out, but bugging out is only a last resort, and I think so that he should add a little bit emphasis, a little bit more into this. He's digging into getting yourself prepared, getting your bug out bag, ready, available, next beside the door. That's a good thing. But also remember that bugging out is always a last resort. For survival aspects, you should always shelter in before bugging out. Choosing to bugging out. So there's a lot of fairy tales about bugging out there. I think so. There's a lot of misconception about bugging out, but that's my personal thoughts. Okay, so anyway, great book to have, great guy also. So in the preppers community, he definitively got a 5 stars out of 5. So after that, the other book that I do recommend you is The Ultimate Guide to U.S. Army Combat Skills and Tactics and Techniques. This book is, to my knowledge, is a masterpiece. This is 3,000 pages of complete explanation on techniques that U.S. are using. I had also books that I was digging into, and it was the SAS and Elite Forces Combat Techniques, but that book was digging, but not as much as in-depthness as the other book that I'm talking about, The Ultimate Guide to U.S. Army Combat Techniques. And this book is basically telling you, from basic ground fighting techniques to strikes, handheld weapons, and starting to standing defense, group defense, and after that, he's going with combat weapons. And when we're talking about combat weapons, it's from knives to pistols to rifles, and he's going full machine guns, and they are explaining you the whole shebang about it. And after that, they're talking about grenades and so on, and booby traps and explosives. And after that, they're going to be more specific into regions, and eventually coming back to urban fighting techniques also. And after that, it's going to be urban combat operation skills, but also act as small tactic units. Okay, so this book with the 3,000 page, like I said, this is a masterpiece, and it's giving you so much respect with people that are working for the military after reading this book, because this book is not fairy tales. It's basically talking about techniques, how to quickly, swiftly kill people, and all the combat technique in the back. As civilian, you should understand that you are civilians itself. You're not professional grade military. This is going to tell you, exactly where you're standing. And I'm going to tell you, frankly, it's good to know skills and techniques and tactics of, different armies. And the U.S. military is the best in the world. They've always been. So, it's learning from the best, and after that you can downgrade for the rest of all the other countries' armies. So that's one book itself that they're going to explain you the technique. So if you're being caught into a civil war or into a combat situation as a civilian, you're going to if you wrote this book itself, you're gonna know damn well, you know, what this is all about and how they're gonna proceed with all the tactics and everything, which is gonna bring you to get the hell out of Dodge. How you're gonna get the hell out of Dodge. Don't try to fight these people. Just try to avoid them and escape an evasion. So this is my philosophy behind that book, and I hope so that you're sharing it with me a little bit. Okay. After that, we got the Zombie Survival Guide from Max Brook. Another classic. I think so that if you want to have some fun, definitively this is a book that you can read for having fun. They're going to discuss, you know, it's as we know, you know, it's just, you know, it's much more for literature and having fun. But I think so that book was cool to write down. So Max, thank you very much for it. You have drawn, you know, different subjects and topics and histories about different, you know, zombie plague that did happen throughout the years and stuff like that. So I do thank you very much. After that, there's the Prepper's Guide itself here. It's the Ultimate Prepper's Guide. I think so that guy didn't invented J. Castle. It's from J. Castle, by the way. I think so that guy, that's a pretty basic one. I didn't find it very, you know, out of the bloom. I didn't find that he had a lot of things that was new, you know, to me. And of course, I've read a shitload of books on prepping right now so far in my life. So, but the subjects and topics were quite redundant with the rest of the things. So that was still good to get. But yeah, that was an okay book. Okay, I would not say a sublime book. After that, Rural Ranger guide. So that was another one that is a good guide. They're talking about distillation, solar still, Springbox, aquacone, and after that, you know, there's the emergent heating. So this is really for rural survival and suburban survival. So yeah, that book, I really did enjoy it. I really digged into it, and I think so that this is a great book for preppers. You know, they're talking about snares, cunny bears. It's much more into trapping itself than hunting, which is a more efficient way to earn your food and stuff like that. So yeah, I think so that's another great book that everybody should get. After that, you know, I got the other book that I got that I did really enjoy is The Art of Survival by Stefan H. Verstappen, and that's another great book. They're explaining you know, urban survival. So he's really into urban. He's explaining you the psychology of different psychopaths and different predators, urban predators that you can encounter. There are some ways of discovering how you should quickly discover those types of people itself, and you should avoid them. So, and he's talking also about fear and how you're going to control yourself and relax and stuff like that. So, whoops, sorry about it. I'm just trying to get the... So yeah, definitively that book is a keeper for me, especially in urban survival. He's talking about, you know, different techniques, how to avoid crime, how to avoid, you know, hot spots, how that you want to get street smart, okay? What's happening, you know, when you got a car emergency and you're into a hot spot, how to avoid, you know, car breakdowns, how can you avoid to get carjacking. So there's a lot of things that he's gonna topics that he's digging into it. Sexual assaults, you know, kidnapping. So it's really, you know, stalkers, how you should react, how should you protect yourself from stalkers. So on a urban situation, great book to have, okay? So once again, Stefan H. Verstappen, The Art of Urban Survival, Family Safety and Self-Defense Manual. So that was a great book, okay? I do recommend that one. After, if we are discussing a little bit more, the Ham for Dummies, another good book, you know, that you should get prior to get your license and stuff like that. So it's giving you, you know, the basic and everything, the understanding of what's going on with ham radio. So communication is a good aspect into it. After that, emergency war surgery. A little bit too technical, I think so. Okay, the guys, if you are EMT, if you are medical, this is the book for you guys. First responder, that's a start into it. They're giving you a lot of information, a lot of things about a lot of subjects and topics. You know, what's you know, all the trauma that you can encounter in war. That's the kind of book that definitively is a keeper. For myself, it was on the technical side. Next week, I'm starting my first responder training, so maybe that right after I'm gonna reread it, and everything's gonna be nice. Ebola Outbreak. How do you want to lose money? It's a complete waste of time and money. So that book, I am just telling you, this is definitively a no-no. So you could have gone better, you know, with that one, and that would have been, you know, perfect. So anyway, that was $2 anyway, so no big deal. Disaster Preparedness itself by Rod Bodyguard, and that was a good book. I really enjoyed it. You know, they're talking about a lot of situation, a lot of things. Once again, a lot of redundancy, but that's maybe just because of me, that I got so much read. I've read so many books, you know, into preparedness, that I think so that book is really is still redundant, but you know, that's still a good book, you know, to me. So there's a lot of subject and specific subjects, so that's what's good about it. Okay. And after that, if we're looking into specific subjects, Bodyguard, How to Protect Others. I took the first book. I think so. Second and third could be interesting. I think so. That guy was giving a lot of personal information about his life, more than the main subject and main topic about it. So I was, you know, sometimes I skipped a few pages because it was totally, you know, he was giving personal information about his own customers. So that was kind of a little bit. But that's Michael J. Franklin wrote that book. He's got several ones, so you know, if you're getting other books and you're reading other books, you know, just please post me some comments into it. After that, you know, I got turkey, of course. I got coyote hunting, and I got Complete Guide of Hunting on it, and which are more specific for hunting. And right after, there's another book that I really did enjoy, and it's by Bill Caddy. That guy is a real hobo. He wrote down a book, and I think so. It's free, by the way. So this guy deserves a 2 thumbs up. He's giving you basically, you know, the way that he totally lived as a homeless person. And disaster preparedness is about being homeless. So I think so that you should dig into that book. Maybe it's gonna set your reality a little bit on offset margin. So just telling you, that guy was great. He has a good philosophy, and I think so that guy deserved, you know, 2 stars, and he deserved a straight path to heaven right away. So great philosophy into it. You're gonna love that book, by the way, but it's free, so you know, it's a good start. Like I said, I like to dig, you know, a little bit everywhere, so that's always good. Mastering the Art of Long Range Shooting, another book, you know, much more specific. You know, for guys in U.S., the Constitution of the United States of America, I think so that you should own it always, all the time in your pockets. Okay, talking about alternative routes, how to kayak. I think so. Kayaking is another good alternative route. You don't have to buy a kayak, but at least, you know, learn basics of it. This is gonna explain you all the know-how and everything. So that's from Danny Coulombe from Brockett. I don't know if he's doing it in English, an English version, but I hope so that he's doing it in English. This is a very good book. Okay, so you should definitively, and it's gonna, you know, expect, you know, all the weather paths and stuff like that, the currents, the tides. He's explaining navigation and stuff like that. This is the whole shebang on it. Great book. Okay. After that, we got also mountaineering books. So, you know, the Freedom of the Hills. That was done. That's the 6th edition, and it's from Graydon and Hansen. it's giving you all the basics of rope rappelling and stuff like that. I think so that you should, once again, if a disaster strike, houses collapsing, tornadoes, stuff like that, knowing the ropes is a good thing, okay? It's always good to know, especially if you're a rescuer, first responder, or stuff like that. You don't need to get and dig into it and start to climb mountains and stuff like that, but at least have the basic knowledge so you can help, you know, the spider squad. I don't know if in your country you got some spider squads, but we do have in Quebec spider squads, which are first responders that are specifically trained for rope rappelling and stuff like that. Okay. There's another book itself that I would like to talk about, same thing as Bogging Out, Bogging In, and Alternative Routes. This is the Répertoire de Lieux de Marche du Québec, which is all the road paths that can be walkable. So they're giving you all the kilometers and everything. This is a good training book for bugging in, bugging out, camping, stuff like that. Definitively know how, you know, the good place, the good stuff, where to go. That's one thing. Another good discovery that I did this week was from Margaret Briggs, and it was salt. All the history about salt. You're looking at it like what the F, you know, you're talking about. And salt is so much used into prepping that it's telling you basically, you know, how to cook, how to produce different chemicals from salt. So this is why it was very interesting into it. It was giving also the history of salt. And the different utilization and cooking also. So I'm a big cooking fan. So that was a great thing. And it was giving you also, you know, the what you can do with alcohol also. So, you know, different shots, tips, and stuff like that. It is involving salt into it. So that was a good book. I can tell you, I can't wait, you know, to try some recipes, by the way. All right, so and the last one, yeah, I did forget that one. So for the guys, if you want to be into aquaponics, good thing is build yourself an Aquarius and start to dig into it. Eventually, maybe, you know, if shit hits the fan, you're gonna raise you're gonna raise fishes. I don't know. So, you know, it's like I said, it's always connects. It's always good to have and learn and know the skills and everything. So the other stuff that you can learn also much more technical, electrical, plumbing. This is mechanics. These are always good assets also to have in your knowledge. I think so. So I thank you very much for watching. I hope so that you did enjoy. Like I said, I'm gonna post all the ISBN down in the channel, and I know that I was a little bit boring on some sides, but in the others path, it's feel free, you know, to contact me, send me an email, and if you want to have my thoughts and minds about some books. I've read a lot of books in my life, you know, especially about prepping. You know, if you want me to read some also, you know, just send me some and I can pass the reviews, you know, to you personally. So if you're writing down a book right now. All right. So thank you very much, guys. Hope so that you're doing well wherever you are in the world. And my thoughts and minds from people from Israel and Middle East right now. I know that you're in deep trouble. So hope so that you're going to do better a little bit. And for the rest, American people, well, I'm saying you hi, and all my thoughts and prayers to you guys, especially people from Texas. All right, so thank you very much, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.